If you've been paying attention to women's basketball over the last couple of years, you know we're in the middle of a boom. The WNBA is bigger than ever. College ratings have exploded. Caitlin Clark has basically turned into a one-woman ratings magnet, and brands are finally throwing real money at the women's game. In the middle of all that momentum, Unrivaled came back for its second season with one big question hanging over it. Could this 3x3 project turn that buzz into something sustainable, or was it going to be remembered as a cool one-off experiment? Right now, the early signs are not what the league was hoping for, and whether they like it or not, Caitlin Clark's absence has become a huge part of that conversation. Unrivaled's first season worked for a lot of reasons. It was new, it felt fresh, it was star-driven from the jump, with names like Breanna Stewart, Napheesa Collier, and Sabrina Ionescu giving the league immediate credibility. It came at a time when people were eager for anything that pushed women's basketball onto bigger stages. The 3x3 format, the tighter rosters, the faster pace, all of that gave off the energy of a summer lab where the best of the best could try something different and still compete at a high level. This year was supposed to be the evolution of that concept. Season 2, bigger and more ambitious. The league expanded from 6 to 8 teams. Rosters got deeper. They moved into slightly larger arenas. On paper, the plan made sense. Build on the novelty of year one, add more teams, reach more markets, and rely on the momentum of women's basketball as a whole to carry things forward. But if you're gonna scale up, you have to get the rollout absolutely right, and that's where things started to wobble even before opening night. Late in 2025, Unrivaled launched a marketing push built around one number, 22. It popped up in teasers, in graphics, in messaging that was vague enough to stir curiosity, but specific enough to make fans immediately think of one person. For a lot of people, 22 in the current women's game means Caitlin Clark. For others, it could easily point toward Angel Reese. Both are young, both are massively visible, and both wear that number. So when the league kept leaning into that symbolism, fans naturally started putting 2 and 2 together. The expectation built fast. The Unrivaled was hinting at a blockbuster signing. Maybe Clark, maybe Reese, maybe both. In a space where star power is everything, that kind of tease is going to get people talking. The problem was what came next, or more accurately, what didn't. No huge announcement dropped. There was no unveiling of Caitlin Clark in an Unrivaled jersey, no surprise press conference, no Angel Reese joins the league headline. The season eventually started without either of them in the mix, and a lot of fans felt misled. Analyst and content creator Rachel Anna Marie Demita broke it down bluntly on her YouTube channel. She pointed out how the league kept dropping those 22 hints and let the speculation snowball, then delivered nothing concrete. In her view, using that kind of imagery when you don't actually have Caitlin or Angel locked in was a serious misstep. When you're still establishing trust with your audience, you can't afford to play too loosely with expectations. People remember when they feel like they were strung along. The timing of that misjudgment made it even worse. Unrivaled was walking into a season where the margin for error was already slim. The league had taken on more overhead with expansion. Bigger venues mean higher costs and more pressure to fill seats. More teams mean more salaries, more logistics, more everything. Instead of riding a wave of excitement into opening weekend, the league walked in with a chunk of its fan face feeling like the big tease went nowhere. And it showed. The early broadcast this season did not match the audience numbers from year one. A league that had launched with a decent pop in its debut saw a clear drop-off in viewership. On social media, you could also see more fans saying some version of, "I tuned in to see what the 22 thing was about, and when it turned out to be nothing, I checked out." In the arenas, the visuals told a similar story. Those first games in slightly larger buildings exposed empty patches of seats, something you just didn't notice as much in year one when the smaller venues made everything feel more packed and alive. It's a subtle detail, but for a league trying to project momentum, it matters. Viewers at home see those pockets on TV and subconsciously pick up the message. This is smaller than it was supposed to be. On top of the marketing issues, Unrivaled also got hit by something no league can completely control: availability of top-tier talent. Last season, having players like Breanna Stewart, Napheesa Collier, and especially Sabrina Ionescu on the floor gave Unrivaled instant legitimacy. Those are all NBA names, Olympians, faces of franchises. When they're involved, fans don't have to be sold on whether the level of play is worth their time. It's understood. This year, though, injuries have taken a toll. Sabrina Ionescu, one of the league's most marketable and exciting guards, has been sidelined.
Other big-name players have shifted their focus to different off-season opportunities. Angel Reese is still a major presence and a genuine draw, and every time she steps on a court, cameras follow. But one or two big personalities can only carry so much. Without Clark, without a fully healthy Ionescu, and without a fresh infusion of star power, the Unrivaled product looks and feels thinner at the top. That's where Caitlin Clark's absence becomes unavoidable in the conversation. Whether it's fair or not, the women's game is in an era right now where she is the sun that a lot of things orbit around. Ratings spike when she plays. Every arena she visits sells out. She brings casual fans into the room. People who don't know the full women's basketball or NCAA landscape, but know the girl who hits logo threes. If a league that is trying to stand out in a crowded sports calendar leans into her number in its marketing, and then she's nowhere on the court, people are going to zero in on that.
Rachel Demita essentially argued that by teasing the possibility of Clark or Reese and then failing to deliver, Unrivaled made its own job harder. Instead of focusing on what the league does have, unique format, solid core of pros, a different viewing experience, the narrative immediately became about what's missing. Fans felt like the league promised a huge surprise and then didn't follow through. That kind of broken expectation is one of the quickest ways to see ratings dip, especially early on. But the biggest challenge Unrivaled is facing right now might not even be marketing, it might be money. When Unrivaled was first conceived, part of its appeal to players was financial. It offered a chance to earn solid pay in the WNBA offseason, stay in shape, and build personal brands in a new environment. For some, the numbers on offer from Unrivaled were more attractive than what they could make in the WNBA or overseas in that same window, especially when you factored in travel and schedule. That landscape has shifted. The WNBA's new collective bargaining agreement has pushed salaries and revenue sharing to a different level. Top players are now making significantly more from league contracts, bonuses, and marketing deals tied directly to their WNBA presence. According to Demita, the WNBA is now, in many cases, paying players more than the figures Unrivaled originally used as a selling point. When that happens, the off-season side league loses one of its main competitive edges. For elite stars, that changes the calculus. Suddenly, the main job pays better, comes with more visibility, and spins off huge endorsement opportunities. Consider someone like Caitlin Clark. Even in a season interrupted by injuries, she still commands enormous attention off the court. Sponsorships, national commercials, appearances, and a signature shoe line with Nike all mean she doesn't need to chase every additional paycheck that pops up. Her priority is going to be staying healthy, dominating in the WNBA, and building a long-term brand rooted in her main league. Once that becomes your reality, the appeal of a 3x3 off-season league has to be about more than just the check. It has to offer something unique in terms of development, exposure, or fun. And right now, that case hasn't been compelling enough to pull in the very top tier of stars consistently. That puts Unrivaled in a tough spot with its business partners. The league's television agreement reportedly includes performance clauses and opt-out provisions tied to how well the product does. If viewership continues to trend downward, if attendance doesn't pick up, those numbers don't just live in a rating spreadsheet. They land on the desks of network executives. At some point, someone will ask whether the deal still makes sense or whether it should be renegotiated, scaled back, or even dropped. Unrivaled isn't at that point yet, but the pressure is there. Upcoming road events and special showcase weekends could give the numbers short-term boosts. A feature game in a hot market or a weekend where big WNBA names are free and can drop in might create spikes. Those moments are helpful. They can buy time, but they don't necessarily build a foundation. Long-term stability will probably require one of two big changes. Either Unrivaled finds a way to consistently bring in true headline stars, whether that's Clark in a future season, a fully healthy Ionescu, or the next wave of college phenoms as they turn pro, or it successfully rebrands itself around something else. That something else could be the intimacy of smaller venues, deeper access to players, innovative rules, or a tighter integration with the WNBA rather than direct competition. Right now, though, the league is stuck in between. It's not star-studded enough to sell purely on names, and it hasn't yet convinced a broad audience that the format and vibe alone are must-see, regardless of who's suiting up.
The irony in all of this is that Unrivaled was built on innovation. The idea was to experiment with 3x3, to rethink presentation, to give women's basketball another platform that wasn't just a copy of the WNBA or overseas leagues. In a vacuum, that's a smart and necessary step for the sport, but the first few weeks of Season 2 have underscored a hard reality that's true across basketball in general. Innovation doesn't erase the need for star power. It can complement it, it can enhance it, it can give stars new spaces to shine. What it can't do, at least not yet, is replace it. As long as the sport's brightest names remain focused elsewhere, they're going to shape the narrative from a distance. Caitlin Clark doesn't have to take one dribble in an Unrivaled game to be central to its fate. Her absence is a story. Angel Reese's decisions are a story. Sabrina Ionescu's health is a story. Fans follow those individuals first and leagues second, especially in an era where social media allows them to attach to personalities more than banners. Unrivaled is learning that in real time. The concept still has potential. The players who are there are talented and competitive. There's room in the women's basketball calendar for more than one meaningful platform. But to get there, the league is going to have to either convince at least a few generational stars to buy in, or fully commit to a new identity that doesn't live and die based on who wears number 22. Until that happens, every drop in ratings, every patch of empty seats, and every marketing tease that doesn't land will keep feeding the same old question: can a new league really thrive in this space without the gravitational pull of its biggest stars? Right now, the answer is still very